VT4903, Crossroads episode 4081, part 1 with sound up.
Anything wrong?
You know.
Or maybe a coffee would make the world seem a better place.
It isn't the world. It's her.
Mrs. Freeman?
You've guessed it.
Look, now that you two have become acquainted...
We're hardly good friends.
Well, then why don't you do something about it, darling? Something positive.
Like what?
Well, for a start, tell her where she stands. That would clear the air for us all.
Oh, I haven't decided anything yet. I haven't even decided if I want to get acquainted, as you put it.
Well, I think we'd make a very good team with Mrs. Freeman.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Look, I know how you were worried about meeting her on a personal level, Jill, but you've had time to make judgments.
Oh, I don't know. Don't push me, Adam.
Well, sometimes it's for your own good, darling. I know what your initial reaction was to a total stranger swanning in.
Oh, it's not just that.
Yes, but you must adjust. She's perfectly acceptable as a person and as a business colleague, darling. You've got to see that.
Look, if we do put our proposition to her...
Yes, and the sooner the better.
We're going to look a bit silly if she turns us down, aren't we?
Well, she wouldn't.
She may have other ideas up her sleeve, plans she hasn't discussed with anyone. I don't think she wants us here. Have you thought about that?
And there is also easy access to the gardens at the back.
Well, it's all lovely.
Well, we've been very comfortable here, haven't we, darling?
Yes, indeed. I'm sure we'll miss it. Do sit down.
Oh, thank you. So, when exactly are you leaving?
Day after tomorrow. We've planned it for so long, I can hardly believe it's happening.
Like a couple of kids. The big adventure.
Well, it could have something to do with the fact that we're giving up a whole way of life.
Oh, well, you're all packed up.
Yes, surprisingly. Barbara's hoarding habits have taken a bit of a knock.
I reassure myself that a little spring cleaning doesn't do anyone any harm.
So what are the travel plans?
First stop, Singapore. We decided on a Far East trip.
Despite Barbara's belief that I had a hankering after Bognor.
Misunderstanding on my
We're going
part.
to Bali, Penang, and Thailand.
Sounds wonderful. I'm sure you'll love Singapore.
Oh, do you know it?
Yes, I went there on a holiday years ago with my husband.
Oh, your husband. So there is a Mr. Freeman.
You must excuse my wife. She's very nosy.
Curious, darling. I can't help it. I just wondered about a Mr. Freeman's existence.
You're doing it again.
Sorry.
It's all right. Anyway, we had a wonderful holiday in Singapore. We stayed at Raffles Hotel and drank their famous gin slings on the veranda. It was quite idyllic.
Bye.
Hello, Cat.
Oh, hello, love. I was miles away.
Anything wrong? You look a bit peaky.
No, I'm fine. I'm just fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Are you eating properly?
I just bought a collie.
Oh, for one.
I know. A bit silly, isn't it? Nice habit, I suppose.
Yeah. You're sleeping properly?
Yes, I'm all right. Look, I must get on, love. I've only got half an hour for my shopping.
Oh, I'm just killing time. I was hoping for a nice natter.
Well, why don't you come round later on this afternoon?
That sounds like a nice idea. What sort of time would suit you?
Any time after 3.
I shall look forward to that. See you later, then.
Okay, bye, love.
We could be approaching another overbook situation
Yes,
here.
the 6 chalet block booking could fall through. They've done it before more than once.
Oh, well, let's hope they let us know before they back out.
But then if they do get here, you see, they're a good lot. They spend a lot of money in the barn. They're very little trouble.
That's what I like to hear. Now then, shall we go through the forecast for next month?
Yes, before we do go on, could I ask you a question, Mrs. Freeman?
Well, couldn't it wait? We've got an awful lot to get through.
It could, but I rather that it didn't.
I'm listening.
And I must stress this is purely hypothetical.
Well, then I hope it's not a waste of time.
When you took over, you said you wanted to keep on all the staff as continuity.
I did.
You later said that you and I could have worked well together.
Yes.
What would you say if Jill and myself decided to stay on? I mean, just supposing.
Is it a strong possibility?
Strongish.
That's good.
You'd approve?
How can I if it's only hypothetical?
Well, I've been making lists of absolutely everything.
You've been making lists for weeks. I found them in the strangest places.
Well, at least nothing will be forgotten, hopefully.
Actually, it's amazing what motel guests leave behind. I mean, how could you forget 6 ball gowns, for
Easily, if
instance?
they're not originals.
Barbara.
You know, I've had a very silly idea.
Oh, not another one, surely.
Oh, shut up. Why don't you come with us to Singapore?
Well, it's very tempting.
Good. Then you might come.
Well, honestly, Barbara, I don't see how. Major international hotels moving in and Mrs. Freeman breathing down my neck.
Oh, let them get on with it. They're in anyway now. There's not a lot you can do about it.
Well, that's what worries me. Oh, it's a sweet offer, thank you both, but I think Singapore may as well be the moon at the moment.
Is that bad?
Yeah, I've come to the conclusion. I just don't know what I want. I could jump either way or not jump at all. I just don't know what to do.
Oh, am I interrupting anything?
No. We were discussing indecision, I think, but I'm not sure.
You're looking very pleased with yourself.
I've just had an interesting chat with Mrs. Freeman.
Now, what have you been up to? I can tell from your face.
Oh, darling, it's all right. She's interested in our proposition.
You haven't discussed it with her, Adam. How could you?
Darling, she is on our side.
Well, we're in the dark. Would you mind explaining?
Jill and myself have the chance of staying on here using Jill's shares as a bargain counter.
You've no right to speak to her, not without telling me first.
I only put it as a hypothetical case,
Sounds
Jill.
a viable idea, Jill, using your shares.
The motel will be out of my hands if I sell. I won't be in control again, ever.
So can't you two talk some sense into her? I can't because she won't listen to me.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ledgeford. Well, I've come out of the restaurant to try to locate a missing customer.
You what?
That's right, he went missing.
What does he look like?
Tall, thin and dark.
He upped and left, did he?
I'm afraid so.
Maybe he didn't like the meal.
Thank you for that vote of confidence, Mr. Ledgeford, but your client had no complaints last night.
My client? Which one was that?
I was hoping you'd tell me. He complimented our chef, drank our champagne like water, and was generally pleased with everything, including your Miss Winters.
What's she got to do with it?
She was entertaining him on your account, as I'm sure you knew.
Oh, yes, of course I did, yeah.
Oh, yes, she was very good with him. A valuable person, Miss Winters.
Yes. All on my account, you see?
Yeah, that's right.
I see.
Let me assure you, Mr. Ledgeford, if in future any of your clients need anything, just do not hesitate to let me know.
Yes, thank you very much.
The motel is at their service.
Yes, I'll do that. Shouldn't you be trying to locate your missing customer?
My what?
Your missing guest?
Oh, yes, indeed. Excuse me, of course.
I'm tired of just talking. I want to get things settled.
Without referring to me?
I don't know why you insist on taking such a stand,
Come on,
Joe.
you two. We've been dumb referees for the last 10 minutes.
Well, you might try and persuade her.
Now, don't you gang up on me. You've tried that once before.
Yes, but only to make you see sense.
Yes, well, I think it's time for lunch.
Good heavens, so it is.
Well, I'm hungry, even if you're not.
Oh, I'll come along.
And no bullying. You'll give me indigestion.
Good ploy, darling.
They hardly noticed it, or us.
Poor Jill's really up against it these days.
Can't be easy, though, letting go of everything that you've grown up with.
I just wish the whole thing could be settled before I leave. If only I could help her somehow.
Yes, darling, but in the end, it has to be Jill's decision.
I know.
And what about you? Won't you be just a little bit homesick?
Perhaps. But this is the best thing that could have happened to us. And that is what's really important from now on. What happens to us.
True.
We stand to make a massive profit and secure future.
Oh, as if profit was the only thing.
It's a very important part of this whole deal. Adam is only pointing out the overall advantage.
Selling to major international hotels would mean...
Giving in.
It would not. Oh, Stan, you talk to her.
What can I say that she doesn't already know?
I wish you wouldn't talk about me as if I wasn't here.
All right. If you were in Jill's position, then what would you do?
Adam, that's cheating. You know what he'd do.
Exactly. You both knew anyway.
You're trying to twist my
I'm
arm.
trying to make you see sense, darling.
I'd stay on and do all in my power to make sure that the motel was run my way. That's the best possible way.
By selling your shares, Jill, you would still be in the driving seat.
Now, come on. The time's come for you to make your mind up.
There's a pile of messages for you.
Anything urgent?
No, fortunately. I was just a bit worried. You've been gone all afternoon.
I've been on my rounds, seeing people.
Yes, I presume that's what it was when you didn't ring in.
I've been picking up interesting bits of information on the way.
Anything useful for us?
Could be. If you'd like to explain what I've heard about you and Athletics Limited.
What did you hear?
Champagne on expenses, entertaining the clients in the motel restaurant. Now, you know that sort of approach doesn't usually pay off. And I didn't give you permission. We can't afford to be that generous on an off chance.
It wasn't an off chance this time.
And I've heard you've been discussing contracts and all. Without me, that's pushing it a bit, isn't it? It's not really on, is it? I mean, who's manager around here? You are the secretary, you know.
It wasn't wasted money or wasted time.
What?
The account dinner. Every penny was well spent.
You know, I just can't afford your whims. What was it all for? That's what I want to know.
Well, if you'd been here this afternoon, you'd have seen for yourself.
What the hell are you talking about?
The client came in to sign. It wasn't just discussing contracts. I got it as well.
You had no right to do that without my permission.
I had every right.
What's come over you? Eh? Listen, you get me that bloke's telephone number. I'm going to say there's been an oversight, a delay. Oh, I've got to sort this lot out.
You'll do no such thing.
Now, don't you use that tone with me.
You can't undo what I've done or take credit for it. You're going to Sheffield.
And what the hell has that got to do with it?
As from next week, I'm in charge here.
What?
You see, I'm not just the secretary around here anymore. You're looking at the new area manager of the West Midlands. So you see, I had every right, John.
Oh, hello, Marion. Come on in.
Sorry, Kath, I'm later than I thought.
Oh, I haven't really noticed the time yet. Go on through, anyway.
Nah. Must be difficult not having her around anymore.
Yeah, it is. Still, I'm getting used to it.
Is it just that, then?
Why, what do you mean?
The children going is one thing, but there's something more, isn't there?
No, of course there isn't.
Kath, your face says something different.
I don't know what you mean.
I saw you at lunchtime before you saw me, so I know. I saw the private Kath Browner, the hurt Kath Browner. So what's wrong?
Yeah, you're right, of course, but it's not so much wrong as over.
Why, what's happened?
John's going to Sheffield, and I'm not going with him.
Uh-huh.
I've broken off the engagement.
Oh, Kath, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize.
It's all right. Things have been going wrong for a long time.
And I thought it was just the kids going.
Oh, well, there was that, of course, but I've been living with this long before Glenda made up her mind about Canada. I mean, everything looked fine on the surface, but things change, don't they? And people change too, and I think John and I just got lost along the road.
What can I say?
Oh, I don't want any sympathy, love. It's just that I got to get used to the idea of having no one around. No one at all.
As far as I'm concerned, Athletics Limited is just first of many contracts I intend tucking under my wing.
You didn't waste any time, did you?
Efficiency, John. They liked the proposition I put forward. They liked all-rounders equipment.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant getting your foot in the door.
More than a foot, I think.
Oh, you fixed it with head office already. I might have known.
There's no use sitting around waiting for opportunities. Isn't that what you told me?
I never suspected. You lining your nest.
Why should you suspect? I've worked hard for this position. Earned it.
How? By stabbing me in the back.
Big business. You know what it's about.
Planting the seeds for yourself all along the way.
Isn't that what you do? Or did? Only not as efficiently, I might say. I've had to sit here and watch you fumble over deals that I could have had sewn up in a few hours. Sometimes you were useless.
You told them.
What?
When head office gave me a rollicking for hiring my future son-in-law.
They phoned me, yes. They asked me for the facts.
I just couldn't figure out how they knew.
I gave them the facts.
If you'd had any loyalty, you could betray that easy.
I have got loyalty to the right people, my employers. That's part of the job, isn't it?
Oh, I think you've made the right decision, Kath, though it's probably difficult for you to see that just now.
Yes, I'm sure it's the right decision. I know that deep down, but it doesn't make it any easier, does it? I mean, here I am all alone. What's right about that?
You'll get used to it.
Will I?
Yes, of course you will.
Have you ever tried getting dinner for one? Food comes to feed armies, you know, not people living on their own.
Hey, you forget. I've been a widow for quite a while now. I've given up looking for 100 different ways to grill a chop.
Sorry, love, I've got lost in my own misery.
It's all right. You've had a bit of a jolt one way and another.
You just don't notice things, do you, until they apply to you.
No.
No, John's a good man, and I think, in a way, I still love him, but I just couldn't marry him.
If some of these aren't cleared up soon, we're going to have to employ a collecting agency.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got the chalet inventory that you wanted.
Ah, thank you. If you could just put it there. Well, I suppose the two of you are off home now, are you?
In a while, yes.
Well, was there something you wanted to say?
Yes, I did.
Something we both actually wanted to say.
I'm listening.
Well, I've thought it over, and I've decided to sell my shares.
On conditions, of course.
Of course.
Only two.
Well, what are they?
Firstly, that we buy the other half of the garage.
And?
Secondly, you keep Jill and myself on at management level.
Is that it?
Yes, that's it.
I see. So let me get this clear. You buy back the other half of the garage.
That is right.
Using your wife's money.
Correct.
And the pair of you stay on.
Yes.
So Major International Hotels loses the garage.
That's right.
But we do realise that you'll have to put it forward to head office and get their reaction.
We're perfectly happy to wait for a decision.
Thank you. Was this your hypothetical question?
Yes, it was.
Would you like us to come back in a while after you've had a chance to get through to head office?
No, that won't be necessary. I don't have to refer to the board. I can give you my answer now. You've got yourselves a deal.